Welcome to Fine, I'll Talk About It, the podcast where we say the quiet parts out loud. Real talk, no fluff, no fake positivity. I'm your host, Danielle Young, and today I'm joined by Nathan Francis. Nathan is a men's coach, speaker, and host of the Breaking Free podcast. He empowers others to break through fear, reclaim their power, and live with truth, purpose, and freedom. Welcome to Fine, I'll Talk About It.
Thank you, Danielle. Thank you for having me. All the way over in America, I'm all the way over in Australia. It's unreal how we can make things happen like this. It's like 8 o'clock in the morning here.
Oh, really? Oh, yeah, that's right. You're like 15 hours ahead of me, I think.
Yeah, I'm in the future and you're in the past,
Yeah.
eh?
Yep. You're the future. That's so cool. Well, thank you so much for joining me in such an early hour for you. Here it's like 3 o'clock in the afternoon.
It's beautiful here. I've been awake since sunrise, so bit wet, bit cloudy, but yeah, I'm usually awake at sunrise anyway. So I've been awake
Nice.
for a few hours.
Same. Same. Well, why don't we start by just telling me a little bit about you and who you are? Who is Nathan?
And Nathan, I'm a lot of things. Hey, it's interesting how you build this identity of who you think you are or who you think you should be, and it's always based on society, or it's based on TV, or it's based on family. Once you strip back those layers and you understand and remember who you are, well, then you're not any of those things. You're just a human or a soul. Actually, you're a soul having a human experience here on Earth, and all these labels and all these things that we give ourselves. You know, as it's just so powerful that once you remember who you are and you're confident in that, you don't need any of those labels to define who you are. And that's something that I've learned a lot in the last 5 years since my awakening journey. You could say it was spiritual journey, healing journey. It's like hero's journey. Like it's like which label do you even give that journey? But it's just a journey of self-discovery. It's a journey of remembering who you are and remembering that you are more than just this meat suit, and you are capable of amazing, wonderful things. And for me, you know, I was that young Australian party guy, sleep around, drink. That was an identity that I had in my old hometown. And you sort of, you live based on that,
Mhm.
unconsciously. This is who I'm known as. This is the way my life is. And I remember 4 years ago, 2 months to the day, I looked myself in the mirror and I just said, Nath, this is your last night of drinking and partying. Now, around this time, it was around the C period. Not sure if we can, that period of time where, you know,
Oh, yeah, you
yeah, the
mean the
C
vid.
period. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm not sure how aware your listeners are, but it was pretty much bullshit anyway. So I didn't really follow anything that was going on, and I pretty much didn't have. Well, I had connections and stuff, but I was figuring out who I was and why I'm here, and my life was changing, and my friends were changing, and I was changing, and people and places and things fell away during that period, and things were falling away, and I already started taking care of myself in a healthy way, and I just needed one last night. So my cousin texted me and said, "Come around for a house party," and I was like, "Yep, sweet." And I looked myself in the mirror before that night and I said, "Look, I'm not doing this anymore. There's something better here. I'm not sure what that is, but there's something better here. I'm not doing this anymore. This is the last night." So, you fast forward 12 hours later, high, drunk, all the things. Back then, three young girls sitting around a table. It's like, here we go. This is my chance here to see how I can go for the night. So I walked over there, sat on the table, and said one or two pickup lines and fell straight through it. Hit the concrete smack. That was the moment of, are you going to change and grow, or are you going to stay where you are doing the same thing every single day? And I'd already set that intention, unknowingly set that intention 12 hours earlier. The universe is like, okay, let's meet you where you're at. You're going to fall through a table now to grow and evolve. And for me, my journey started pretty much a few hours after that table moment. I listened to a podcast from my mentor, Jason Christoph, talking a lot about the subconscious mind, self-help, self-development, talking about pretty much the last 12 hours of my life. He just went smack. It was like two smacks from the universe. And I'm like, okay, how can I go through my own journey now and and impact others. And that set me off on that journey. I did the coaching program. From there, I wrote a book, started a podcast, started a business, all from falling through a table and listening to one podcast. I've now interviewed those two guys that did that podcast on mine like 10 times, you know,
Mm,
but that young guy, me 4 years ago that was listening, I was like a sponge. And then to be
yeah.
able to interview those two guys myself on my own platform like a year later, you can't make this shit up.
Yeah, no, you can't. So what made you decide in the first place that you wanted that this was it? Yeah, before you fell through the table and hit the concrete, like what led you to that revelation that hey, this is it. I need to stop doing this.
There were things in my life that I wanted. I was getting towards the age of my later 20s. I think I was 26, 27 at the time. I'm 31 now. And there were things that I wanted in my life, and I wasn't going to get them doing those things. I had this aha moment, you could say, of, okay, well, these are the things that I want. Living this lifestyle of sleeping around and partying and doing all those things isn't going to get me to where I want to go. I was just in that inner dialogue asking myself those questions of what do I actually want here? And is this going to get me what I want? And it's like sleeping around, drinking, partying probably ain't going to do that. So,
Yeah,
yeah, that's just one layer of a very, very deep onion. So it's like we'll just keep stripping them back.
yeah. And what was that process like? I mean, well, first let me ask this. Do you feel like you would have gone on the healing journey had you not hit the concrete? Like, do
I'm a
you
big
think that
believe.
hmm?
I'm a big believer in the universe will give you, like, if you're supposed to do something or you're supposed to whatever, like, you'll get chances and opportunities. So I look at it as stones, rocks, and bricks. So the stones from the universe might be something physical. You might be sick, or you might have something like a disease or an ailment, right? That might be a
Yeah.
stone to be like, maybe your body's trying to tell you, or the universe, whatever, God, spirit, Jesus, whoever you believe, is trying to tell you something. So then you get what I say, stones. So rocks. Rocks might be financial hit. You might have some financial trouble. You might have relationship breakdown, might have friendship breakdown, those sort of things. Then you might get the brick, and the brick might very well be a life and death situation, near death moment, not that serious, or falling through a table, smacking your bum so you can't sit down on a chair for 3 days. So you sort of get the stones, rocks, and bricks of for you to take a chance, or for you to change something, or for you to grow. I feel like the table moment may have been a stone it might have been a rock or a brick. Be like, Nath, you say you want these things, you say you want to change. Well, here you go. So, and then that's what I'm a big believer in. I don't want to know if I hadn't have fallen through that table. I don't really want to know what the next brick might have been.
Yeah. No, I mean, it's sort of like a brick to the face at that point. I mean, you
Yeah,
hit the concrete. I mean, you know. So when you set off on your healing journey, what did that look like for you?
it was a dark night of the soul. It was facing myself and my stuff, my unconscious programs, why I was the way I was, where it came from. Was it even mine to begin with? And where did I pick it up from? You go on that journey of uncovering the parts of yourself that you've kept hidden for such a long time. I'm a big on my content. You leave it in a box over there in the corner. The subconscious goes, we'll deal with that later. It's like, well, you can consciously walk over to the box and open it up. You got to be ready to face with the hard truths. And the hard truths in my life, some of them weren't even mine. And once I started, I unpacked the world truths first. And I'm a big believer in, if you can unpack those world truths, you're going to have that mirror moment where you ask yourself, where are you lying to yourself? The world lies to you every single day. There's so many lies out there in the world. We can unpack those on another time. But it's like, where are the lies within you? Where are you not showing up for yourself? Where are you lying to yourself? Where are you making promises you can't keep to yourself? And it's asking yourself those questions, having that dialogue, journaling, all the things, getting the answer. And for me, it was, I had a program as an example. I had a subconscious program from school. I used to write a lot about heroes and kicking goals after sirens, like in the AFL is a very big sport here in Australia. I used to play it.
Mhm.
Or you can talk about baseball, like hitting the home run at the end to win your team the game, or you kick the winning field goal in NFL, or you score the winning touchdown, or you throw it to the wide receiver. There we go. I'm getting my sports analogies out there, so you can sort of see what I used to write about. Hero stories, and I used to write like comics about like supernatural stuff and ghosts and shit. So I had a teacher in grade 1 or 2. I'm sitting on the floor playing Lego, but I remembered this on a table with a beautiful kinesiologist who said something happened to you when you were 6 or 7. I said, yeah, I was on the floor playing Lego. Like I went straight to that box. And the
Mhm.
teacher was talking to my parents about my writing, and she said, and I quote, I don't want Nathan writing about this stuff. He needs to be writing what everyone else is writing, which
Mm.
is information, like handwriting, copying it off whatever we were doing. I didn't want to do that shit. I wanted to write my stuff. And I
Yeah.
heard that, and as a kid, it's like a dagger to the heart, it's like a kick to the gut. You're like, and I just went, all right, well, I'll just unconsciously take your word for it, and I'll stop doing that thing. And I walked up to that young kid on the floor playing Lego as myself back then. And I said to that kid, I said, Nath, you are so much more than what I say. I said, I am you, you are me, we are one. I'm going to walk you and show you a new way, a new path. That's one
Mhm.
person's perception of who and what you can be. There are 6
Yeah.
billion people out there in the world. Someone will resonate with you. So
And
what that
it's
teacher said, get rid of it.
yeah. And it's interesting that you knew innately to do that
Yeah.
because a lot of us carry around those stories with us and we carry them into adulthood and we hold on to them. And, you know, either can't let them go or won't let them go. So it's really profound that you knew, hey, I've got to let this go. I mean, what made you not hold on to that stuff? Like, were you working with somebody or was this just you were following you were following your intuition, you were following your gut, you know, was this all you or were you actually just working with someone too?
Yeah, so my brother and I in 2022 went on a trip up the east coast of our country. We just buggered off from our hometown and our home state for a few months, and we met so many awesome people on that journey. And I went to a kinesiologist who was energy healer, all the things. I had a list of questions as long as my arm about life and myself and some other stuff that will be shared one day. And I walked out of that session after it, and she's like, "Oh, okay. How about the list of questions?" I looked at the questions, we answered them all, and and through kinesiology, you do a lot with the subconscious. You do like muscle testing, and you do all those things, and they can speak to that part of your mind too. It's really cool. And
Mhm.
she just said something happened to you when you were 6 or 7. I just said, was I playing Lego on the floor? She's like, how does that feel in your body? I'm like, that's exactly what's going on. Like, tell me more. And as we sort of unpacked it, I just had her standing there, but I unpacked it myself. All she said was like a seed of like a drop of this happened. And I just went there and went, right, well, let's change that.
Yeah.
You have to be
That's
you have to be willing to go to that place. Someone can
mhm.
take you there, but it's like leading a horse to water. You've got to actually drink the water. And for me, I
Yeah.
was ready to drink that water and open up that box. There were so many other boxes that I opened that day in a 4-hour session. That was just one of many boxes that I was like, I'm opening this thing because I was
Wow.
ready for the next evolution of my life. And that was, yeah, nearly 4 years ago now.
Wow.
Hope that answers the
Did you
question.
Yeah, no, did you connect that to anything else that was going on like in the present or was it just that, you know, that moment in time where it was like an isolated thing and you recognized it in the present or was it attached to
Well,
other
she
things that
she
were
gave
now
me
going on?
another seed. She said she did like a future thing. She said, "I see you writing books," and I said that really feels uncomfortable. So I was like, "Why is that uncomfortable?" And it was from that kid at 6 years old. I was still clinging on to that story of, "Oh, I don't want to put myself out there. What if someone else says something similar?" Or So once I cleared that and reparented that inner child, I wrote my book in 6 weeks. I started it the next day after that session. Like it was like I'd already written it. It was like it was there. It was there. It was like this. I just unlocked that from that 7-year old, and just all it was just reparenting an inner child and just picking him up and saying, "Mate, I've got you." And as I said before, and I'll reiterate, you are so much more, and that's one person's perception of who and what you can be. You can do and be anything.
Yeah.
That kid was like validated right there.
Yeah. How was it writing the book for you? Was it pretty cathartic?
Yeah, I wrote that book. I remember it was weather very similar to what it is now, pouring rain, and I was just sitting inside, and I'd finish a chapter or finish a paragraph and reread it, and I'd get I'd get really emotional because it was my story as well as like a general overview of why people do the things they do, and I put my stuff in there too. And
Yeah.
I'd reread it and I'd be like, far out, like it's like I was healing parts of me while writing that book. If that makes sense.
Mhm.
Uh,
Yeah. No, it totally does. It was the same process for me when I wrote mine.
mm.
It it forces you to think about things in, I don't know, for me for me it forced me to think about things in a new perspective because I'm sharing it as something that happened, but I'm also sharing it from a place of this could potentially help someone. So I don't know. I mean, did you find that it was easier to put that stuff in the book and to put that stuff out there than it was to just keep it inside and say, no, I don't know if I don't know if I want to put that in there.
I just had, I pretty much just wrote from the heart. I just was
Yeah.
able to just write from the heart. And yeah, most of the things that I wrote in there, I kept in there because it was from the heart. And for that period of time of my life, I don't know how familiar you are with astrology, but I was going through a Saturn return, and the start of my Saturn return was falling through that table. I only figured that out in the last couple of months when I had a beautiful astrologer on my podcast. I just said, look, I've read a bit about Saturn returns. I feel like I had one like from 27. She's like, yeah. And then we sort of went through the chart, and she's like, well, actually, that month of September of 2021 was the start. I'm like, oh, wow. I fall through a table and smack the ground. It's like during that time, your whole life changes at 27. That's why the celebrities you'll see, a lot of them have died at 27. It's like that's
Yeah.
a
The
very,
27
very,
Club.
yeah, very powerful sort of evolutionary path. And a lot of us don't know about astrology. If we all knew about astrology, wow, shit, how everything would be changed.
Yeah.
It's like that part of my life was written in the stars moons, many, many moons ago. And it's like that was the time where I was supposed to go on the journey. Now, how much control do we have over this? I'm not sure, but astrology is pretty bloody powerful. And if you know a good astrologer that can do your chart, might be worth the investment in that and knowing what's coming, what you've been through, all the things, because what's going on up there goes on down here. And that's what's going on right now. And for me, it was like, well, if I'd have known that information back then, could things have been a bit easier? I don't know. Maybe I wasn't supposed to know that information, but I have only just found out in the last few months, and it all made sense as to what was going on in my life. So much upheaval, so much change, travel, all the things was going on. I'm like, wow,
Yeah. I love it when people say Mercury retrograde's not real. Like,
we're in one right
what?
now. That's probably
I
why your tech
know.
was playing up earlier.
I know. And it's my birthday next week. So I'm like, great. I have Mercury retrograde during my birthday. That's great. Thank you.
For anyone out there, any of your listeners, look up your star sign, your moon sign, your sun sign.
Yeah.
And if a Mercury retrograde falls in your star sign, moon sign, sun sign, that's going to deeply impact you, because the
Yes.
last one in Cancer, far out.
You're a Cancer?
Yeah, I am. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. You were
Yeah.
probably spinning.
It's just handy to know this stuff. And, I'm big on this needs to be in school. This needs to be out there for people. But this information is hidden for a reason, because it's there to actually empower us. But the people running the show in the world today, which are behind the scenes, they're in the disempowerment business. They want to disempower you in every possible way they can.
That's very true. Yeah. I feel like a lot of natural healing modalities are looked down upon because of the stereotypes and the stigma that goes around them. Did you find any of that during your healing? Were any of your friends or family like, dude, come on, suck it up? Like, just, you know, like, why are you studying astrology? Like, that's girl stuff. Like, I mean, did you face any of those stereotypes or stigmas while you were going through this dark night of the soul?
Well, I when I saw that kinesiologist, she was a psychic as well, right? Fortune teller,
Okay.
psychic, energy healer, all the things. And I walked in there skeptical because I'd never done anything like that before. And, my brother was always sort of dabbling and interested in this sort of stuff. But for me, I was like, fuck, I'm just going to do it anyway, right? And I'd done like a quantum healing session. So I'd already started that spiritual journey path. So quantum healing, just before I get to the next part, is where you're accessing the quantum field and the facilitator puts you in a meditative state and you go on a bit of a journey through the subconscious part of your mind. You just, you're unpacking Pandora's boxes and all the things. Beautiful healing modality. That started me off on the spiritual path. You know, where
Yeah.
do I go from there? But I'll go back to your question. So then from there, my cousin, when I was on that trip, just said, "Oh, I know this kinesiologist and energy healer, all the things." And my brother and I are like, "Oh, well, we're sort of on the journey, so let's just go see her." So, he went first, and then he came back, and then I went like a couple of days later, and I walked in there, sat on an armchair, and she just said, "From your energy field, you slept with a lot of women." And I was like, "All right, well, you don't know me. I don't know you. If you can pick up that from an energy field or a sense or a feeling or an intuition, I want to know what my gifts are. So let's unpack my journey. Let's go." Because if you can pick up that from me, not knowing you from a bar of soap,
Yeah.
fuck, that's pretty cool. Oh,
Yeah. She saw you coming.
yeah.
Wow. So did you uncover, this whole like sleeping with a lot of women, did you uncover unconsciously why you were doing it?
Oh,
Like
yeah.
what was behind it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like every young boy out there, it's like, okay, one layer's porn. I had the porn habit for a very long time. When I was 8 years old, the old MSN Messenger. You're familiar
Yep.
with
I
MSN? Yeah,
remember.
MSN
Yep.
Messenger. Buddy down the road. Hey, Nath, I have a video to show you. Or, I'm thinking, oh, it might just be a sport video or whatever it is. I'm like, oh, well, let's go down and have a look. And then, bang, there it is.
Yeah.
The exposure
At
to
8.
that content at 8, 9 years old, has an effect on that little boy because it's all the feeling, the sensations. You're like, what is this? Something's hard down there. There's things coming out. Something's shooting off. You're like, what the bloody hell? But you're like, geez, it feels good. It's like you hit a
Yeah.
dopamine. So then
Yep.
I had that habit every morning, every night for years. And it's like, okay, you need to break that habit. So you insert something better or insert something else to drop the habit. So that was like the hardest thing I went through was the porn. So that's one layer. Second layer is TV shows. I was watching American Pie. So, who's the most hypersexual character on American Pie? Yes, I wanted to be Stifler on an unconscious
Fleur.
level because he was cool. He was funny. He had buddies. He was like jovial. Unconsciously, I'm like
Mhm.
14 watching that, not knowing who I really was at 14. It's like, oh, if I can be that guy, I'll get women. I'll get all these things, all these shiny things. 2.5 Men. Didn't want to be Alan. Pretty sure you could pretty much guess that Charlie was the guy on the spinner rack of society. I'm like, I want to be that guy. That guy's got a beach house. He's a bit older, so it's like, oh yeah, he smokes cigars and has women left, right, and center. It's like, I want to be that guy. Then late into the early 20s, Friends come along. I'm like, oh, people tell me about Friends and didn't want to be Chandler. He was funny. I wanted to be Joey because that guy had the women again. You know what I mean? And then I watched the In-Betweeners, an American UK sitcom, and who was the most hypersexualized character on that show? Jay. I wanted to be Jay. I wanted to crack all the sex jokes and be the that like those guys had things that I wanted in my life, and I thought that was the unconsciously that's what's going to get me the things that give me the validation and all the things. So you can sort of see that on one layer was porn, next layer is TV shows and movies. And, I watched all those movies with all those sort of similar characters in them because I wanted to be those guys because I thought they were a king. I thought they were cool.
Yeah.
Well, I went and lived that life in reality. A, women didn't like being treated like that. B,
Yeah, we don't.
B, B, I wasn't getting anything that they had. I didn't have a beach house and a spa and all the things. So I'm like, okay, well, this clearly, bingo, the conscious mind's like, this clearly ain't working.
Yeah.
So then what do I want? What do I like? How do you show up as a real man? Are there any masculine men influences out there? Not many, but there's a few, and we're all rising now. It's great to see. It's like, be you. You don't have to be Stifler, Joey, Charlie, Chandler, bloody Homer, Bart, like all these people, all these characters. Just be you.
Yeah.
So what's true to me? What's funny to me? What's all those things? And it's like, okay, if I can strip all those influences out and just figure out who I am to my core and be that, everything will align. That was the
Yeah.
epiphany. That's a long-winded answer, but you can sort of see,
No, it's perfect.
just give your listeners and viewers an insight into who I was. Well, I just used what I saw, what I heard on the TV and on the screen, that's who I should be out there in society.
Right. Well, now we have social media.
Well, yeah, exactly. That's a trap too. Like, I was the guy that would watch the women shaking it on Instagram. Then you click on the link and bang, you're on their videos, and it's like this trap. Back then, it was just back then though. We didn't have reels and people shaking it. It was just like Twitter, following your favorite bloody porn star, and then they'd show a snippet of their video, and then you click the link and gone. You know what I mean? Like, it's such a thirst trap for young men. If you've got this habit, what can you insert that habit with? What's the morning routine you can have that's not watching the screen or something? So for me, it's meditation, breath work, connection with myself. I feel like in society we have lost connection with ourselves, but also connection with nature and connection with the
Yeah.
earth.
Yeah.
What's the habit? So go to the gym, breath work, meditation, journal, do something else. Of a nighttime, we get all those sensations and all those feelings come up of a nighttime before sleep. Well, I do meditation and breath work again, but I also stretch and allow my body to relax before a night's sleep. It's a lot better than watching a video of two people doing something we can all do ourselves if we go out there and get the connection.
Yeah.
That's how fake that is. You're watching or getting off over two people on a screen when you can go out and get that connection. Like, we all crave that connection, but society's made it you can connect over a screen. Like, we all on some level want that human connection. We have to go and get it. And as men, that's our duty, to go and get that connection, to go and hunt for that connection. It's so easy to put a video on as a connection, but you're not connecting. You're connecting to two people doing the thing you can do. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. No. And,
Hope that answered the question though.
Yeah. I read plenty of studies lately too that have said that men especially are lonely. And there's this endemic of loneliness among men. And, I feel like since we do have the internet now and so many of us communicate over screens that we've lost our ability to actually communicate in person.
Mm, we have. And I was at an event in my local region on the weekend, just gone, and it was a beautiful community. I connected with so many awesome people, and it just reminded me how important that human connection is in communities like that. And we need to build them again, because we can build the online communities, that's fine, but people need that face-to-face real human connection. And that's what we're all moving towards, is that connection to each other. But in that community, we need the community. A lot of people in there, Like you could walk down the street tomorrow and ask a random Joe Blow, "Do you know who lives next door to you?" Most of the people will say, "No, I don't." Back in the day, we knew our neighbors. We knew we had a village, we had a community. Now we're so isolated. And that's where they want you to be. They want you isolated. They want you lonely. They want you watching porn, drinking alcohol, smoking, vaping, gambling, doing all those things. Why? Because then you're easier to rule, you're easier to lie to, you're easy to govern, manipulate, lie to, and steal from. Look at the world today. That
Agreed.
is the truth
Yep.
bomb of the world today. You are easier to lie to if you're weak. And as I said before, the people, not your political leaders, not your athletes or any of those people, it's the people behind the scenes that are the puppeteers of society today. We all have a feeling as to who they are, but we don't really know who they are. But they are in the disempowerment business and they want to disempower you in every single layer of the human vessel that you've inhibited this experience. They are in the mental weakness, they are in the physical weakness, the spiritual weakness, the financial weakness, and the emotional weakness. They want those 5 pillars of strength for you at your absolute weakest so that they can control you. And that's what we're faced with.
And it sells.
Well, yeah, it's a
Because when
business
you're at
model.
your
It's a good one.
lowest, oh, yeah, I mean, it's the perfect business model, actually, if you think about it. I mean, when you are at your lowest and vulnerable, you will reach out for anything, and that's what they prey on. They prey on people who are in that state, who are like, "You know what, man? I know I don't feel good, but I don't know what to do, so I can either keep doing it because that's the easiest road to take, or I can come out of it, which, hell no, that's a lot of work." So it's the machine that just keeps getting fed.
So I say to a lot of my listeners and my audience is if you want the biggest FU to the system, you can go down to a rally, you can write letters to your local council or state area or whatever you guys called it in America, or to your political leaders. All those things
Yeah.
is great, right? You can just do that for days. But the biggest FU is getting yourself physically healthy. And to get yourself physically healthy, I recommend a book called How to Eat, Move, Be Healthy by Paul Chek, Chek. He used to own the biggest health and wellness institute in the world called the Czech Institute, and he has a book, How to Eat, Move, Be Healthy. I recommend reading that book to get the physical pillar of strength working as it should be. Then you can do the mental, the emotional, the spiritual, and the financial, because once those pillars are all aligned, you are less likely to be controlled. And that is the biggest FU you can possibly make to the system, is getting yourself physically healthy and strong, mentally healthy and strong, financially healthy and strong, spiritually healthy and strong. People say, okay, Nathan, what's spiritually healthy and strong? Well, you won't people please for a start. You'll use your no instead of your yes. And once you become a master of using the most powerful word in the English language by saying no, you have reached spiritual enlightenment. Use your no. If you don't want to do something, then don't do it. It's like when people say, I hear it all the time, oh, I shouldn't have gone there today because XYZ happened. It's that intuition, it's that little voice. That's the spiritual strength. Listen to that little voice inside that might be telling you not to do something. Or that little voice inside might be saying you should do that thing. And I had a beautiful footy coach, AFL footy coach, say, give your first option, because it's always the right one. If you're under pressure about to be tackled, give the first option. It's always the right one. I just went, I can use that for life. That first
Mm,
feeling, that first thought, do that because it's the right one. Because you're not
yeah.
allowing your head to take over. You're not allowing those thoughts to take over, the doubt, all those things creep in. Just
The
do the
fear.
first thing. First thought, first thing, do it.
Yeah.
Because
And I feel
that's
like
how
that
you get
point,
the spiritual strength working.
yeah, and the ego is completely cut out of it because the
Exactly.
ego is there to keep us safe, right? It's there, and it's the only thing that it knows is our past behaviors, and that's how it's strengthened. So it's strengthened by fear. And you know, when we overrule that and start following our intuitions, the ego kind of takes a back seat. Like, okay, I have to like reprogram. But people don't understand that. So that's why we're here and we're doing this podcast.
Exactly right.
This is educational, guys. We
You
are
know,
teaching you how
I
to be
read
spiritually
all the
enlightened.
books, right? You can read all the self-help books, you know. I've recommended one today. I can recommend some more. The Power of Your Subconscious Mind by Dr. Joseph Murphy. And then, you know, there's heaps up on my bookshelf there I'm just looking at now. It's
Yeah,
like there's so many, but people will read those books or have them sitting on the shelf, but their life won't change. The light bulb hasn't gone off yet.
right.
For me, it was I listened to that podcast. Jason recommended How to Eat, Move, Be Healthy. I went and got that book the next day. I was like, wow, okay, our body can do some cool shit. And I've been feeding it the wrong stuff for a long time. Oh my God. You know what I mean? And then,
Yeah,
you know, it's like the penny drop for me. Some people, they'll need the penny to drop physically. And I fell through a table, the penny had already dropped. But we all have that moment where the penny will drop. And once the penny drops, things can change. And for me, it was those books just helped me evolve and grow on the path because I was already actioning some of those things. I was just learning more information.
yeah.
But
If
it's
you,
like the horse to water. You know, we can speak here for days and start to lead people to the water, but at the end of the day, they have to pick up the glass or pick up the bowl and drink it themselves.
yeah, that's true. If you want to send me a link of those books, I can put those also in the show notes.
Well, yeah, the Power
That'd
of Your
be
Subconscious Mind's a really good one because I was already learning about the subconscious, and that book came to me, and I was like, wow, okay, our subconscious is very, very powerful, and this guy just outlaid it like beautifully.
yeah. I haven't read that one. I'll have to read that one. I mean, I read everything. So yeah. How has all of this affected your life now? Where are you at now? Like, how are
Well,
your relationships and, what does your life look like now compared to then?
so you've seen where I was. You know, I was in a small hometown. Everyone knew each other. You know, I was the party boy, the player, the young people call it F boy. I don't know if you can
Yeah.
swear on here or not. The fuck boy,
Go for it.
fuck boy. That's
Yeah.
what they say, the young people. So I was that guy, you know. And then I evolved and changed, and you know, some people still saw me as that guy, which is fine. But for me to evolve and grow and keep going, I need to leave my hometown. I went on that trip, came back, and went right. I think it's time I get out of here. So now I live 2 states away, further north, on the Sunshine Coast in Queensland, Australia. Beautiful spot. Beach is
Nice.
15, Glasshouse Mountains is 20, and there's been so many awesome things in the last 2 years since I moved. Good, bad, and ugly. You know, leaving your old town, leaving your old state, doing all those things. It was quite challenging, quite hard. You know, it was part of me to grow, and yeah, and now relationships and things are different. You know, I'm a different version of me. No one knows me here. Oh, people know me now, but no one knew me here when I first got here, and I had a clean slate. You know,
Yeah.
it's like for me, it was like, well, I'm still who I am, and I'll tell you what I came from and who I used to be, but I'm not that dude anymore.
Yeah.
And you know, when I first started my podcast, even too, like it was a car crash. It was me talking over the guest and being loud and real nervous and hunched up and shoulders are up here. Like you can see me now. It's like, well, I'll just relax and talk a bit slower. And, you know, my very first interview on a podcast was an interesting one, you know, but you get better at the craft as you go. And a lot of people will give up because, you know, it might not be going anywhere, not be impacting anyone, or you might get in your head and say, oh, I'm not very good at this. Well, you keep going and you keep practicing, you keep putting yourself out there. The universe rewards action.
Yes.
And for me, it was like,
Absolutely.
I'm just going to keep doing this. I'm going to keep getting better. And, you know, we're all here on a journey to grow and evolve, and we're all here to do cool things. Just walk over to that box and unpack it. Because if you don't unpack it now, you'll be on that deathbed when you're however old, you got your grandkids, great grandkids, looking them in the eye, telling them you love them. I really hope you do. I'm glad my grandfather did that. Before he died, told me he loved me and he was proud of me. It's like we get to that moment. Are we in regret? of what we could have been, should have been? Or are we
Yeah.
saying, no, 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 I said, fuck that. I did those things. I built something great. I left you a legacy. I've done X, Y, Z. I love you. I'm proud of you. I'm going to cross over and I'll guide you through the next stage. Lights out. See you later. Where do you want to be? For
Yeah.
me, I want to be that guy laying there saying, hey, Joey and all my grandkids, hey, look what I've just done here. I did this for you. I'm leaving this for you. I don't know what that looks like yet, but I'm leaving something for them. And it's like I'm just gonna cruise off into the next phase of the soul journey. I'm gonna go to the other side and I'll guide you through your journey. See you later. I love you. Bye. That
Oh,
is where I want to be.
yeah.
And if your audience, ask yourself that question, do you want to be in regret telling your kids, if I had just taken that chance, if I had just did that thing, or if I had just walked up to that person, you know what I mean? Do you want to be there or do you want to be over here? For me, I want to be over there on the good side.
Yeah. No, we all want to be on that side, I think. Well, I mean, there's probably a handful
But
that don't, but the majority of us do.
the only person that's stopping you from saying that to your grandkids, great grandkids in that moment is the person staring back at you in the mirror.
Yep. Exactly. Since you've gone through this healing journey, have you noticed that you are attracting different people to you?
Yeah. People that are more aligned. You know, a lot of people will say when they awaken, they'll say, oh, no one around me gets me, or no one around me is, it's like, you got to let those people go. And that's the hard thing. We just cling on. It's like a rope. It's people, it's places, it's habits, it's all the things, thoughts. We just let go of that rope, and people, places, opportunities will be presented to you, and people will start because you raise your frequency. Nikola Tesla said, if you want to know the secrets to the universe, think energy, vibration, and frequency. The more you lift your energy, vibration, and frequency, the more people will come to you that will meet you where you're at, or might be a couple of steps ahead, couple steps behind, but they're on the journey. For me, I had to let my old hometown and some relationships down there go because they weren't serving my energy, my frequency, and my vibration. It's as simple as that.
Yeah,
If
it
you
is.
have the balls to let that rope go, people will come in, opportunities will come in, and the whole world will change because that's the power of us. We've created that change by letting that rope go. So walk over to Pandora's box, let that shit go, and look out. Yes, it's
Yeah,
hard. Yeah, fucking oath it's hard. The body will tell
it
you.
is hard.
You might have pain, you might have injuries, all the things, but the body keeps the score. And that's another good book too. The body
Yep,
keeps the score.
read it twice. Yep. It is an amazing book. Yeah, it's very clinical though,
Yeah, but it
but
does
it's
keep the
it's really
score.
good information.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah, we hold everything in our bodies. Everything.
Yeah,
People think that,
emotions.
oh, yeah, it's all held. I mean, we hold the majority of our emotion. Well, I mean, I'm not going to get too scientific here, but people think you can just talk through and heal. I'm like, no, you have to work it out in your body. Talking is great for identifying where the work needs to
You
happen,
gotta feel.
but it's actually like moving it out that is going to make you healthier because it's sitting in your body and it's creating dis-ease. You know, it's creating autoimmunity, it's creating
Cancer.
adrenal problems, it's creating
Cancer's another one.
cancer. Yeah, I mean, these are all of the things that are just stuck and they're wreaking havoc.
Yep. And
Yeah,
a beautiful thing to do for men out there is to feel. If you're angry, feel it. How do you get rid of it? Go box at the gym, or go punch stuff, or go smash stuff. If you're sad, feel that sadness. For me, my mum's Facebook's awesome. There's a lot of younger photos of me on there. If I'm feeling sad, I'm
oh,
like, ooh, okay. Which version of me needs some love, whether it's past or even present or even future? And my mum's Facebook's ripper. There's some awesome photos there. I just sift through if it's past and go, oh, that's the version of Nathan needs some love today. Or it's just me sitting with myself and saying, well, I need to give myself something. For men, best tip to do, write it down. If you can't, explain to your partner or friend or mother, brother, cousin, whoever. If you can't tell them how you're feeling, that's fine because a lot of men can't speak about it. But if you can write it down and then reread it and go, wow, it's just you and the pen and the paper and your thoughts and feelings. You don't have to have anyone understand you. As long as you can understand it and reread it is a good start. Because for me, I was then able to communicate it because I've understood it in my writing, and now I'm like, you know what? I am feeling like this today. I don't feel great. I feel sad. I feel angry. I feel lonely. I feel whatever.
Yeah.
That's the
Have you
emotional
ever
awareness and the emotional intelligence, but it can start by simply writing or drawing or however you want to do it.
Yeah. Oh, I agree. Journaling is great.
Mm,
Have you
very
ever
powerful
done
modality.
exercise where you write it all down and then burn it?
Yeah, I did. So for me, a lot of people in my life a few years ago, I thought had wronged me, and I had a
Yeah.
lot of anger and all the emotion towards those people. And I had a beautiful person say, actually on my podcast, actually, Dr. Gabe Roberts, he's really awesome. He's in the backlog a couple years ago now. And he said the whole Pono prayer, which is, I love you, I thank you, please forgive me, I'm sorry, or I love you. It's something like that. And I was like, wow, what's this thing? So I just put it in YouTube. It was like a 20-minute thing. And all the people that had wronged me, like I visioned them in like a room with me sitting down, and I looked them all in the eye and said that prayer. It was wild. And then the emotions have to go somewhere, right? So when you do all that emotional work, they have to go somewhere physically. So I was on the toilet for a bit because I was purging all those emotions. And then my
Uh-huh.
brother's like, maybe. And then I had another podcast a week later with a really awesome sex therapist, sex coach, Jane Rhoda. And she said, that's good what you've just done, but now you can write them a letter and get all that out. So I wrote them a letter, and I wrote like 20 letters to all the people
Wow.
in my life that I had anger and rage and all the things towards. So then I just burnt them as I went. And it was
Yeah.
like I felt like I just shifted so much stuff from people that I had handed my power away to. I've taken that power back now. So after that, 2 months later, my brother and I moved up here. The move happened because we had both let all that shit go.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like those are the most powerful 4 words is "let that shit go."
Or I love you.
Well, that's 3.
That's three, but it's still powerful.
It is powerful, but let the stuff go. Like, let it go. What are you gaining by holding on to it?
You're just gaining anger and something to talk
Yeah.
about down at the local wherever.
Yeah.
Stop going
Well,
back to
you're
that story. Let it go.
yeah. Well, what is the name of your book? Or you haven't published it yet, have
Not
you?
yet, no, it's still in the stages. So it's Breaking Free. It's a teens and young adults guide to identifying their addictions and overcoming them. It's pretty
Okay.
much all what I spoke about today, just in book form.
Well, we got a sneak peek. Thank you for that.
That's all right. But it's a lot deeper
Um,
as well than just that. Like there's some, yeah. And there's
yeah.
information and resources in there that I used back then, still use now, but you build up more of a tool belt. So it was perfect for that time of my life for that particular person to start their journey.
Where are you in the stages now with it?
Well, now I'm a Reiki master. I learnt Reiki in the last few years. So I did level 1, level 2, and level 3, which is really
Nice.
cool. Reiki's a really
Yes.
cool energy modality that I've learnt.
Ugh,
So
I love
Reiki master
Reiki.
now. So I've, sort of got that tool belt now. I do a lot of Reiki. Oh, actually, there's a little reminder for myself. I haven't done that for a couple of weeks. I need to do some Reiki myself again. Just do a bit of a self
Yeah.
check in. So there you go. And then,
Yeah.
you know, like different forms of like breath work wasn't a thing. I didn't do a lot of breath work 3-4 years ago. Probably in the last year and a half, breath work's been awesome, you know. And the ancients were doing this stuff many, many moons ago.
Right.
We've just lost our way.
Yeah.
As I said to you earlier, we've disconnected from ourselves and the earth, and Mother Earth's calling us back home to ourselves and back home to the earth. So
Mm,
a simple way to ground is just kick your freaking shoes off and get out in the sun and the dirt. Connect with the earth again. Walk up to a tree and give it a hug because they're a soul too. A tree told me something cool one day. I wasn't on mushrooms. I wasn't on weed. I wasn't drunk. I just walked up to a tree and just listened. And the
Mm,
tree said, "You'll be moving soon." Was the tree right? Absolutely. 2 months later, I was gone.
yeah.
Like,
Everything is vibration. And when you tune in,
nature knows the way. Your
yeah.
body is a form of nature. You can't go against nature. The people in the disempowerment business are going against nature. Nature doesn't
Yeah.
lie. Our bodies don't lie. The earth doesn't lie. So connect back to yourself, connect back to the earth, connect back to nature, and just walk the path. It's not hard.
Yeah, I know. I can't even tell you how many angry comments I've just responded to, like, go touch grass.
Yep. Here's an
Go touch
example.
grass.
Odd, universe, spirit, creator, Jesus, whatever, gave you berries, right? They gave you berries on a tree. They give you chips. They give you lollies. That's all man-made in not that's all man-made in a factory full of fucking sugar and all sorts of natural flavors and caking agents and all the crap that our body doesn't need. Nature gave us fresh spring water out the mountains or wherever. They give you tap water full of fluoride and chlorine and heavy metals and all the shit our body don't need. So that's when I say connect with nature, connect with yourself, and go and eat and drink the food that the God, Jesus, creator, universe, spirit, whatever you believe, gave us. Because
Yeah.
that's what's good for us. What they give you is not.
Amen. Absolutely true. This has been an inspiring conversation, I have to
Thank you.
tell you. It's been great having you on. And if people want to find you, where can they look?
They can go to my Instagram at Nathan Francis with 2 underscores, or my Facebook's just my name. And there is a website coming. I had a website, and now there's one coming very, very soon. And that will be nathanfrancis.com. And then my Substack, and you can find me on Substack. I write a lot of articles about all sorts of different things. It's more of a journal for me, really, just a public journal. And then my podcast is called Breaking Free. That's on Apple, YouTube, Spotify. I don't know, all the other ones, Amazon, Podbean. Podbean's got a few listeners, so I thought I'd drop that one on there. Podbean. I don't know what Podbean is, but that's on there. And it's on all
Hey,
podcast platforms. So yeah, audio and
yeah.
video. And yeah, I know, you go back to the first episode on there if you wish, but yeah, listen to the more recent ones though.
Okay. I think you gave me all the links, so I'll drop them in
Yeah.
the show notes as well. So
Had some
we'll
really
do that.
awesome conversations, met some really awesome people, and yeah, I've learned a lot just from talking to people, you know. I've learned a lot just from
Yeah.
my own podcast. So,
Yeah. So in closing, what does the future hold for Nathan?
future holds for me. Well, where do I go with that question? You know, the future holds for me is building something better for humanity and
Mm,
helping bring in the change that that people on this planet desperately need. You know, our old systems are failing us, the school system, everything. I have a vision of how to bring about that change, and I intend on actioning that vision. So the future holds to me is just building something better and leaving something better behind. And I'm a big believer in we leave this place better than when we found it. And right now, the earth is no better than when we found it. So
yeah.
I'm here to change this joint.
I love it. I love it. Love it. Well, it has been amazing having you on. Thank you so much for all of your insight, all of your wisdom, all of the little truth bombs that were dropped. I truly, truly appreciate you.
Thank you. I appreciate you too.
Thanks for hanging out with us on Final Talk About It. If today's episode got you thinking, hit follow or subscribe so you don't miss what's next. And if you want more real talk, more perspective shifts, and more finally someone said it moments, leave a quick review. It helps other people find the show. You can connect with me on Instagram at Expired Action Wellness for more conversations like this. See you in the next episode.